connected. Let's get in here, have some fun, you know? There we go. We got some good stuff. You get that x.com. We're connected. Got twitch.tv, got youtube.com. Everything's up. Feeling good. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, and welcome to the GMAE show, where here at the official Sandbox Game channel, we play test the games that you are creating for a game jam that will be ending very soon. In fact, it looks like this particular game jam period may have ended. It says this event is now closed, but nonetheless, we're going to be playing these games that you have created on request to help give you feedback on how to create better games here on this show. Good morning, Go West 927. How are you doing today? Seeing you in the chat. Is the first time, or the first chatter, not the first time, very, very much not the first time. You've been here a long time. And we're having a good time. This is a large-scale game jam. If you don't know, over at sandbox.game, in the events tab, which you can always find on the left of the screen, these game jams come with very large prize pools in each one. They have been going on consistently for years now. Boy, I think since 2020, been doing these on this channel. In this ecosystem where you will build games with a free Game Maker software tool and a free asset creation tool where you can model your characters, animate them, all of those things at no cost to you. Then, when you're finished with your creations, publishing those inside of the Sandbox Game Maker gallery, you can then, submit for these game jams and potentially earn a chunk of a very large prize. The prize pool in this particular game jam event is 100,000 sand tokens, and you can see that here. The 100,000 sand tokens, if you don't know what those are, sand is a cryptocurrency, and you can use this token to potentially buy the NFT assets called lands inside the Sandbox game, which gives you an unlimited publishing space where you can publish and overwrite any publishing as many times as you like, to publish multiple different games that you create, or you can publish one game and update it regularly, create sort of a season of content for your potential players. It's essentially like your slot in any marketplace, similar to the Google Play Store or your Steam store, something like that. And you don't just have to make games. You can make experiences, you can make concert venues, you can make whatever you want. If you just want to make an art gallery, you can do that as well to showcase great things that you've created in the past. But some of those lands will also be given away as part of this prize pool during the Discovery Game Jam. But you can use sand tokens to purchase those lands directly from the Sandbox game when special sale events come up. It costs roughly 1,011 sand tokens to purchase a land, unless you get a premium land, in which case it'll come with additional assets if you're not the type that is maybe an artist, and some other features. But in this particular Discovery Game Jam, you're working in cross partnership with DJ Blondish, where they may publish your experience onto their estate. So the estate is a compilation of lands, a group of lands that come together. So if you are one of the top 10 experiences, or you're an outstanding experience, maybe you don't even get in the top 10, you're just someone that Blondish team has selected and said, this was a great experience that I played in this game jam, and I would like to have that featured on our lands. Then there's a really cool process that you can go through to get more in-depth testing and reviewing of your experience, similar to what I'll do here on this show. Nonetheless, let's talk about it. So, whether you're a first-time creator or a seasoned pro, the Discovery Game Jam with Blondish in the Sandbox invites you to explore uncharted realms, both within the game world and within yourself. No experience? No problem. With our no-code Game Maker tool, anyone can bring their ideas to life. This is your chance to craft something truly transformative in a space where gaming meets music, art, and self-discovery. Let's build the metaverse together. Imagine this. You embark on a journey through a surreal digital landscape guided by the hypnotic beats of Blondish. Uncovering hidden frequencies that awaken forgotten parts of yourself, you will decode the sonic mysteries to unlock a deeper connection to the world around you. Will you decode, rather, sorry. Or perhaps you'll design a game where players navigate a futuristic festival, solving mind-bending puzzles that reveal different aspects of their identity. What if an ancient rhythm holds the key to self-awareness, hidden beneath layers of time and sound, waiting to be discovered? The possibilities are endless. Every beat could unlock a new realization, every challenge a moment of growth, and every world a reflection of the player's journey. Whether it's vibrant digital dance floors, mystical landscapes of sound and light, or hidden truths woven into the rhythm, this is your chance to turn discovery into an immersive personal experience. Your creation could be the next big hit in the metaverse, inspiring players worldwide to embark on their own journey of self-discovery. You had an opportunity to register for this game jam starting last February 20th. And once again, if this is your first time watching this, maybe you're watching it live, you're watching it on VOD, and you're wondering how you can get into these game jams happen regularly. So keep checking the events page for new game jams, as this one is listed as closed, and we're going to be playing through some of these. But if you watch through this video, you're going to have a chance to get an idea of what good game design looks like if you've never done it before. And to a credit of what this show can do for you, I've had experienced game designers who have created something that they thought was like fantastic, and then I come on this show and I try to play it like I'm 5 years old, right? Like I want to play like I've never played a game before and just go through your things. Of course, I have experience with the tool, but when you go through your experiences as if, I've never seen it. So you're going to get an opportunity to see what that looks like when a first-time user plays through your experience. And sometimes that's going to make you want to redesign a lot of stuff. I've had devs that have specifically said, nope, and they cut out the whole middle of the game because they realized like there's a level of complexity that you don't see as a dev, because sometimes you're, obviously where your quests are going to lead and what the conversations are going to be. And so we'll go over as much as we can. All right. So for this particular experience, you're creating a game that challenges players to uncover who they truly are. Will they emerge as a creative visionary, an inspirational guide, an innovative thinker, or a fearless adventurer? The gameplay guidelines and inspiration. This gameplay is completely open-ended. You can decide the mechanics. This game can be single-player or multiplayer, and to fit the theme, your game must include a way for players to discover their inner self through gameplay. All right, so there's some inspiration options here. Let's talk about the prizes as we're getting close to the end of, we're starting to get into that voting period where the closed voters come through. What's up, Hill, Tom, Ice Pilot? Welcome to the chat. First place here would receive 18,000 sand tokens, a 1x1 land, and a gold catalyst pack. So what those things mean, I mentioned what sand tokens are. 18,000 sand, that's quite a lot. That's enough to get you 17 land NFTs if you're just buying directly from the Sandbox game, or if you're buying from other folks. Sand can also be used inside the marketplace on Sandbox.game if you're a person who is not an artist. Maybe you're creating one of these experiences and you don't like the way that it looks. It's maybe it feels rudimentary to you. If you were to win this top prize, that 18,000 sand could be used to go buy, the trees that you needed, or the DJ table that you were missing, or a light setup that maybe as an artist you're good with making trees, but you're not good with making technical looking assets or something like that, or something that's just a fully animated, awesome dragon that you thought was cool, right? You can pick those up inside the store on the marketplace, Sandbox.game. That sand can be used for that. So it's really nice as a developer if you can win in one of these or get a top prize in any regard, because sometimes maybe it's just going to save you some time to be able to do that. And putting it back into the ecosystem, those artists tend to then go back and put that into the ecosystem as well. I know, one of my co-hosts for a long time showrunner here on the show, Alex Kamisaze Flores, tends to take pretty much every single sand that comes into their wallet via art buys and spins it right back into buying arts from some other folks. And they've got hundreds and hundreds of assets. Excuse me. Then we've got a 1x1 land. Okay, so if you get a top prize, in these competitions, you can see between 1st and 10th place is all getting that 1x1 land on this list. And that's, this section right here. But those 1x1 lands are 96 meters, east to west, 96 meters north to south, and 128 meters vertically, into the ground to the world ceiling, that you can build anything that you like. So if you were to build an experience in a game jam, and you are building that experience in a 1x1 environment inside the Sandbox Game Maker, then you could immediately take that experience. You know that it's successful if you're getting in the top prizes here, and you could take that experience and immediately publish it as soon as your 1x1 land is distributed to you from the Sandbox team. And then there's the third component. These gold catalyst packs, silver catalyst pack, and bronze catalyst pack. So what are those? So the arts that you create, if you want to publish those inside of a land, you'll need the catalyst packs to be able to do so, because you can then mint your arts either for exclusive use in your lands, or you can mint those arts and sell them to other people with this digital certificate of authenticity that is enabled by the catalyst packs. You can sell them on the marketplace. So not only are you earning sand, which can be transferred into, your local cash if you're into it, or used for other assets, you're earning the land, which is the same, and the gold catalyst packs, you can be that artist that you want to be and make those sales. So all of those things, prizes are up there. The official submission deadline, which is different than the top line deadline, so forgive me on this one. This is a good thing. It means we're a couple days away. We got about 4 days away. March 18th, 5 p.m. UTC. Convert that to your local time. So we've got a little bit of time once we get these feedbacks coming back that you guys can see what's going on. What's up, Sir Lonk? Jazz Wolf, how are you? And we got a lot going on. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to go find, I got specific requests sent in from some users, and I'm going to open them inside the Sandbox Game Maker to play through these games in the order in which they were submitted. Give me just one moment to get that open for you as we get going. Oh, Hoodlum, what's up? How are you? Oh, that's a really cute emoji. Where'd you get that emoji from? It says Sand Fan, but it's in like a little pastel-like rainbow color. Oh, man. Getting the stretching today, Chad. I've been... over the last couple of months, I've finally decided to step up and get into the into that exercise game. I don't know if you guys know what it's like, when you if you work in a desk job, or in my case, you're working from home, you tend to really not go anywhere. You know what I mean? Not really do much. So I got an exercise system that I put in the room here. It's just right there, a couple feet out, and been hitting it hard. Feel pretty good, but yesterday I might have hit it too hard. You know what I mean? Muscles are aching. Back is cracking. I'm an old man now. Been saying that for years, though. All right. So, as we have some game music happening, I'm going to go ahead and pause the lo-fi. We'll cut that out. And this is for your knowledge. If you are the type of person who is submitting into the Sandbox Game Maker gallery, then your experiences are getting submitted here on the screen. And there's a featured section, and this featured section is for some of the Sandbox internal team members to select, the quick things that we can see on this screen. And often they're things from, from events, or maybe they're from game jams, things that we have had fun playing, usually here on this show, on other shows, of course, on this channel. And then there's the all section. So when we go into all, we'll be able to see all of the games that have been created, and we can filter them down by specific game versions. And this can be important in a few different respects, because as we update the Sandbox Game Maker software, we may have a new version that operates better or differently. We may have older versions that, um, that are essential for certain gameplay styles, we'll say. So I'm noticing actually that in my bottom left, I actually may need to update this before we can get into it, because that says 10.1.6 or 10.1617, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to the create section and make sure that let's say start building. Let's download this thing. Get a little build experiences. We got an update to it, so I'm gonna update that one real quick instead of individually up. We got a raid. It's funny, the raid doesn't actually show up on Restream. I wish it would. It'd be really nice. Use a service so that we can be streaming over on YouTube, and we can stream on Twitch, and we can stream on X all at the same time. Called Restream.io. They're pretty good. But yeah, it doesn't show functions or specific features from one platform to another. You don't get to see, if there was like a super chat on YouTube, or if there's, raids over on Twitch. But it's nice to see you folks coming in. So thank you for being here. Very much appreciated that we're hanging out. We're doing a little video gaming as soon as this update is installed. I also had a come back, and I used to use the software. I like to use the software. It's really good if you have to do like multi-group stuff. But I had a 2 PC setup, and on the one PC that this PC used to feed into, there was a software called vMix that I like to use. And that software is like really high production software. It's the kind of stuff that you would see people on like ESPN using, you know what I mean? And I found myself sort of, I don't know, maybe it was overblown. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot, and it has a monthly fee, or it has a one-time license. But the one-time license is like $1,500, and the monthly fee is like $50. And I was like, you know what? I probably don't need to pay this. I can use OBS. We can peel it back a little bit and just chill. Anyway, so I get onto this PC. I'm getting ready to stream today, and I was like, darn, my other computer that I had a third computer my wife uses. It broke down. Take my second computer. Wow, this is a really big first world problem. And I move it over there. I get her set up, so she's ready to go. And I sit down today, and I'm like, I'm supposed to start about 30 minutes ago. And I'm like, oh, I don't have vMix. Got to get my OBS running. Got to get everything set up. Everything good to go. Validating files, chat. It's crazy. What's been up with you guys lately? Hill, Hoodlum, Sirlonk, Jazzwolf, Tom Voxel, Ice Pilot, Go West. What have y'all been up to? Anybody on YouTube or X, How's life? There we go. Now we're downloading those files. Now we're looking good. Looking good, feeling good. Big version update. That's what I'm talking about. Now I can find everything I need to find here and get you guys right into the action. Say loose travel. Doors of identity is what I'll be looking for here. And I misspell identity like a crazy, you know what I mean? And that's door of identity. That's not going to work either. Look at that. I just type doors. If we just type doors, that'd probably work, right? Nope. Uh-oh. Where you at? Did you publish your experience? The user who sent in this request. If I just type discovery, we'll see if they publish theirs in the experience. We got a couple. Here's one right here. Fall to Rise. Let's try that one. I think it's on my list here. If you were looking forward to getting your experience submitted, I think Sir Lank, if you're watching right now, I see you're on my list, and I'd like to play test that experience. So let's get that, make sure it's published inside the Game Maker gallery, and I will play through that very shortly. All right, let's see. Lots of travel. Just got back from New York, heading to Japan shortly. What you do in New York, Hill? All right, what do we got? So as we're jumping right in, we got a narrative beat right away. You got an environment that looks like a club. It looks like I'm playing as DJ Blondish, and a developer has stepped in. Hello. Apologies for distracting you from the show, but we've completed our work on WaveSync. Matt Hoodlum. Nice, nice. You've told us that you wanted to simplify the tuning of vibrations for a person. We thought, what would happen if we tuned a person to the vibrations, which would allow us to overcome personal difficulties and become a better version of ourselves? So far, you're on theme. I'm liking this. And what's happening has been pretty clear and concise. I teleported very quickly out of the DJ room area, and I sort of would have liked to probably see more of a transitionary period from that. Maybe I'm walking, or excuse me, they may have developer, if we're like in a Matrix situation, because that's sort of what it seems like is going on, to have that clarity there. Like, let me know in that first little beat that, hey, we're in this digital experience, we're digital DJing, something like that, which is super common in VR spaces. I hear about it all the time. We decided to gamify the process. You will need to pass 7 levels, as well as a small additional interactive on the collection of plastic. Collect 100 plastic bottles and will open the 8th level. Okay, so one of the things we're going to talk about here on the show is little things, right? The minutia matters. The small stuff matters, because some of your gamers, maybe your developers, will not be English language first speakers, which is totally fine. It happens all the time. You got players in Korea, you got players in Turkey, we got players in Libya, players in France, and they're not going to be English first. They're going to be whatever language they are first. So when I see something come up here that is not grammatically correct, I'm going to mention it. Now, please don't take offense to it. The interest of this show is always to improve the quality of your experiences. So if it is written correctly, another really cool thing that people can do, if they can't read in English, they may pull out their phone. And with your camera app, a lot of these camera apps now, if you place it up in front of a language that your phone is not by default, it'll show on this screen that translation in real time. So somebody might use that to play your game. We want to make sure it's written as well as we can so the translation software can interpret that correctly. So right here, it says collect 100 plastic bottles and will open the 8th level. You could simply write it, and it will open the 8th level. It being the 100 plastic bottle completion. Or you can say collecting 100 plastic bottles will open the 8th level. And that's probably a more complete way to write that. We want to try to avoid, as best we can, am, are, is, was, were, have, has, had. Avoid those words entirely. Be more descriptive. People are going to like to read it better. You need to choose a level of difficulty. All right, so we've got 4 options here. I'm going to start with easy. Potentially, I'll come back and replay this. But as a developer, when we are making difficulty scaling, I'm just going to say this. I haven't played it. Maybe it is really, really easy. But difficulty scaling should be tested with, ideally, people who've played different amounts of the game. When we don't have that, we want to default to some core principles. So before I even get into it, let's talk about it. If you've got a jump puzzle, then extreme should be the only time you have a platform that is or is smaller than a 1x1 whole block, which is 32 voxels or 3D pixels wide, right? You don't want any level, hard, normal, or easy, to contain those 32 by 32 voxel squares in your difficulty curve for jumps that we have to do. We can make the platforms move, we can do all that, but you want to give players the grace of being able to exist in your platformer without too much punishment unless they're super dedicated to getting some kind of a high score mechanism that you've put into your game. Maybe it's a speed run, maybe it's points allocation, but the difficulty curve should be indicative of what most players are. So I would make something that's like an easy difficulty, have very few falls, very few sort of like significant damages. If this is something where you're fighting in combat with things for a while, then you would make your easy difficulty where pretty much only the boss is a risk for you to die. But mechanically, you're teaching people things in easy, and then normal, you start to give them a decent chance to die in the game or lose in the game or whatever. Hard, now we doubled what the difficulty of normal is, and extreme is for those people who just absolutely love your game and your product, and they want to keep coming back over and over and over again. Extreme is for your completionist. And otherwise, we'll see if this matches up with that. So, developer, it will be possible to skip levels if they seem difficult. Do you want to choose the easy difficulty? Sure. Welcome to the first level. It is designed to take your initial readings, heart rate, etc. Once you tune into the wave and catch the flow, you will move to the next level. All you have to do is throw yourself down and don't crash. Good luck. Okay. Just throw myself down. All right. Oh, I crashed. Okay, so here's something that's happening. I'm going to tell you this right now. Okay, we've crashed a couple of times. This is easy difficulty. And you'll notice that the first time I fell, I wasn't given like it's so darn easy that it's obvious. But here's why. You got a multicolored platform up top. You got multicolored walls here, right? And I think the blocking is good. Excuse me. I think the blocking is good for like signifying where we have levels or tiers that's happening on the walls. And you've got the white highlights that show what the holes in the floor are, where I can go with that. I don't know what's good with the shadowing. It looks like the shadow is the shadow of this asset that's coming down there. Whatever. Anyway, so if we have these open blocks and it's got this like sky blue color, you can see some deformities in the lines there maybe. But as we fall through these holes, you see how I can't find a distinct, like you want a higher contrast here, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. You want a higher clarity that we're moving from one level, one layer to the other layer. You can see the number of deaths that are on there. That's very good. But as we go through here, it's like this baby blue color on every level. So how can I know that I can or cannot enter the next area? Right now, when I look down into these holes that are right next to the player's head, I wish I could point at it. A hole like this one has like a black background or black backdrop as I look through it. And that shows me I can definitely go through there. But the holes that are happening over here, right above my character's head, I can't be sure that that isn't ground, because it's the same color with the same like undynamic lighting. It's sort of flat lighting. So I don't know, you lose the depth that could have been there to show me that that is actually a hole and not a ground I'm going to go splat on. And as we fall through this hole, that hole looks good. This one all of a sudden doesn't. And there's no contrast that signifies that I need to go around. So use the color blocking that we put in this floor or in these walls to signify each layer of the level, and it'll make that clarity a lot easier. It'll also show me how to get ahead of each each layer of falling. So if I was to look down here and we were just following the color coding that's on the wall here, I might be able to find a hole somewhere that has a blue floor on the top layer, an orange floor, and then if I see a red floor, I know that's the way I want to go. Because the optimal path, the fastest way to go through here is going to be to go this way. And I fall through there. And then I have blue floor, orange floor, purple floor. And it'll be much easier to see where the holes are. You don't have to use a bunch of colors. But I do recommend you use like 3 at least when you do this. Because sometimes 2 colors, if your character can get going fast enough, for those people who get like visually nauseous, they could have an issue with that, with a 2 color system. So using at least 3 is good. And because you would be using a multicolor system, you also wouldn't necessarily, for the holes, have to use this really thick glowing block. You could end up using a, just a darker blue on this level to say like, this is a hole, or, whatever you want, a slightly lighter blue or a red or whatever. It would all work. So let's see. I've gone down on easy now like 4 times, 5 times, something like that, and failed lots. Failed a lot of times. So show me where it's easy, you know what I mean? Like, it should really just be a, I fell through hole, good job, you fell through hole, sort of a level. And this 3rd layer is clipping me quite a few times. These holes may be too small, and to get players through there. Obviously, it says we can skip, so that's what it is. Oh, okay, I almost got through it. And I want to fall in water. So as I'm now finding out that I want to fall into the water, that should probably be made clear as well. Like, go take a dip in the ocean, or whatever phrasing you want to use there. Ah, darn. Close. Shoop. Shoop. Bonk. Dang. What this way? Is it easier this way? Yoop. 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 Come on. Oh, I missed again. Okay. Yoop. 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 Nope. Nope, not that way. Gotta go through the middle. No. Here we go. Yeah. Sometimes easy difficulty, you can give them an opportunity to fail like this, right? Just be like, oops. But usually, if I'm on an easy difficulty and my characters are going to fail, I want to show to them that, like, the developer NPC maybe pops up again and says like, oops, oh, well, it looks like that one was too hard. Do you want to skip? Or, sorry, I had you on normal difficulty. You have an opportunity to do that in another way as well. Like, you could start people on normal by default. And if they make it through that jump the first time, you could say like, oh, that seems too easy for you. Would you like to try on hard or expert? And the player is yes or no at that point. Or if they failed, they died, then you get the trigger right away. That can only happen once. It says, it seems like I loaded the wrong one. Let's try it on easy, and they could go from there. So there's an opportunity to do that that's a little bit more dynamic and narrative driven rather than player agency. Player agency is always good, but just thinking, workshopping some ideas here. All right, so we've got the next difficulty, and here let's talk about it real quick. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Before I've even jumped in the hole, the people who are watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on x.com are going to notice a problem here. And it's not noticeable when I don't move, but it's going to be noticeable as soon as I go through this hole. And you as a dev should know this. Take this into consideration. Those lines that are typical in the early versions of what, aesthetically we called like a metaverse design here at the Sandbox. A lot of people use those kind of blocks. And I would recommend avoiding these blocks except for using them as like a light accent. Because as soon as I fall through this hole and those grid lines start moving like this, it's gonna get fuzzy and blocky and gross and ugly on the Twitch stream and on the YouTube stream and on the x.com streams, because the amount of data that's necessary to process those thin lines moving at 60 frames per second and keeping them clean and clear that requires more of something called a bit rate than is allowed to be streamed on these platforms. And that the amount of data that's necessary to show it crystal clear can't really be conveyed correctly unless you do a lower resolution setting like 720p or something, which pretty much nobody does anymore. So let's fall in this hole, and immediately you're going to start to see the effects of some of these choices as you are a viewer. I get to land. You know, you can't land on the blue ones either. That's okay. All right. So this is probably a contrast and clarity thing that I would leave out here. As I'm falling through, I expected red bad. You know what I mean? But it turns out everything bad. So the red does give me an opportunity for some contrast here, which is not too bad. But again, this guy right here, press E if you want to skip a level. Like, let's talk about what the level really is and force me to see that. And maybe it did. Maybe it said it right on the top when I hit next. But if it's in the environment, excuse me. If it's in the environment, I don't have an opportunity to skip it. I could fall, and it should be able to say somewhere like, watch out. Hitting the post is bad. And maybe that's obvious as I fall in this hole and immediately pass. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's not to your player. People will always surprise you with how much guidance they need. I'll tell you that right now. And you know what I'm talking about. If you think the video games are too easy right now, if you think that, you know, when they put that red yellow paint or whatever on those ladders and you're like, well, what's that there for? I assure you it's there for a reason. You know, you could have a hardcore mode, you could have a no contrast mode, you know, your full Dark Souls kind of business, but you know, that's for a particular type of gamer. And what you want to go for typically as a developer is to make games, I'm not going to say as easy as possible, I'm going to say accessible. So just a quick reminder to the dev right now, you're probably a pro gamer, you know what I mean? You're playing in your League Championship series, your Rocket League championships out here. You're super good at this game, clearly. Because what I'm seeing so far is this is easy, right? You labeled it as easy. And we highlighted right at the top what easy means is pretty much almost no difficulty at all. We want the player to get incorporated with your game, to understand your game, to experience the narrative design of your game if we're going to put it on easy. And then when we put it on normal, they start having some degree of difficulty. But like, I've played thousands of these games, as I try to go in this hole, right? I can't see where I'm going now. And I can't see where I'm going in the future. Even with the version 11 update where I can see the silhouette of the character on the other side of the wall, this particular level expects you to be dodging these posts all the way down regardless of color. So I need to be able to see the posts all the way down regardless of color every time. They need to be far enough away that I have an opportunity to process the data and dodge them in real time. And they need to have, you know, left to right spacing that's indicative of easy. I would put this particular spacing as either hard or extreme. And I've got, I think 1,800 tests. Pretty sure 1,800 different tests that we've done as the council since Alpha Season 2. So there's a lot going on. I can get through this for sure. A couple of rounds going, but this I wouldn't qualify as easy. This is, whoop, bonk. This seems like there's one good path. There's one right way to go. And I have not found it yet. Oh, bonk. Bonk. So close. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. Ah! Almost. Almost. Nope. Oh, bonk. Right away. Right away. Bonking on the nose. Yeah. Oh, darn. Where was it? Was it here? See, the holes aren't so big. Oh, oh, here. Oh, there. Oh, pro. Best. Easy. Never in doubt. One try. All right, developer. And this is the level of plastic ends. Small demonstration of what awaits us in the future if we do not refuse, or at least not to reduce the use of plastic. Of course, it is hyperbolized, but how else to deliver convincingly information only to start shooting? All right. So we got a lot here in this particular paragraph that I want to go over. First of all, never start your sentence with and. And always comes after a comma. So we're having a full and complete thought with no preconceptions, no predispositions, right? We are going from a completely closed thought from the last level. We're now 42 deaths in. This took a while to get to here. So players won't have remembered what was, said in the last part of the experience for the most part, because there was no significant cutscene. There was no significant pause that the developer popped into the experience and said, hey, this is what we're doing. It didn't pull us back out into the VR space to say, thank you for completing that test and we did it right. So like there's no narrative reason why we have an and here. We're not continuing this conversation. This is a new thought. This is the level of plastic dens. Plastic dens. A den is typically a housing situation for an animal. Is this a housing situation for plastics? Possibly. So I'm not going to make that judgment now, but let's look at it in a second. A small demonstration of what awaits us in the future if we do not refuse. So refuse, maybe this is written in a way to say it's garbage, or refuse, which is actually spelled the same way. But I'm going to say it should be reuse plastic, because typically it's recycled, or reduce the use, or at least to reduce the use of plastic. If you say not to reduce the use of plastic, you're saying don't make a reduction. So right now, the narrative is kind of, what you're writing is kind of fighting itself. You're saying we should refuse using plastic, or we should reduce or recycle, right? That's in the narrative. You're like, well, what happens if we don't do that? Well, we're going to get a whole bunch of plastic and we got to go pick it up. You mentioned that this is a way to get to level 8. We understand, but here the way that it is written doesn't make sense. Let me rewrite it by just reading it as I would recommend you rewrite it. And if you are not an English first language speaker, please keep in mind that on youtube.com, on the VOD, you can click the closed captioning, and that should come up in your local language so you can better understand how to write this down. Or you can read it back with the closed captioning set to English subtitles, and hopefully then you could rewrite that. You can scroll back, you can do all your stuff. What's up, Simbrando? How are you doing today over on YouTube? But let's read this back. This is the level of plastic dens. I'm going to say, you want to say bins here. This is the level of plastic bins, a small demonstration of what awaits us in the future if we do not recycle, or at least reduce the use of plastic. Period. Capital O. Of course, it is hyperbolized, but how else can we deliver this information convincingly? Let's get going. Okay, so I basically rewrote a whole second section. I had to make some assumptions because I'm not going to be able to go back and read this. We'll see if that lines up with the gameplay here. As we go, we're here. We're saying plastic bins is the level. Plastic dens is how it was written. So this doesn't look like a lion's den. It doesn't look like, you know, a bear's den where they would sleep. Bonk. Man, I really, okay. All right. No. Only one of these is the right way, I'm assuming. You fall so fast. You fall so fast in this one. The curves, the turns may be too hard, or maybe too harsh. Or there's only one right way. Where'd it go? I can't. I literally can't fall into that hole. Okay. Try this one again. Nope. Not that way. Maybe. Nope. Dang. I hit the wall. I hit the post. Hit that post. Bonk. All right, so we're in the. So after here's what I'm gonna say right now, for gameplay wise, right? Forget the narrative beat for a second that we just hit. We are now on the 3rd floor, easy number 3, and as somebody who's played loads of this game, easy number 3 feels like, if I'm correct, if this is beatable, if this is defeatable, then easy number 3 is extreme 1. Straight up. This is crazy. Like, if I'm playing this and somebody said this is the easy mode version, I might just stop right here. Because what? Like, how do I even get through this? You know what I mean? I'm hitting walls. I'm dying. It doesn't seem like I can sneak through anywhere, even as I get going there. Like, my character's falling out of the falling position because I'm getting too close to the stairs here. I don't know that this is possible. As a player, I don't know that this is possible. Seems like this is the most likely spot that this will work, but really just rough. It's rough. Oh, okay. Maybe that's the one. I'm gonna hit that wall. I'm gonna cut it close every time. Darn it. It's getting me, chat. It's getting me right now. Bonk. So, yeah, okay. So let's look at this. Let's think about the aesthetic design. Let's think about the aesthetic design first. In the narrative, we suggest here that this particular falling challenge is about plastic and plastic bins. Is it plastic bins like the garbage bin, an English British garbage bin? Is it if it is, then what does one of those look like? And maybe rather than having that be the whole environment with this white sort of tiled situation, you could make it so that each one of these 4 hole options has an aesthetic that looks like a British plastic bin. Possibly be an option. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh, nope. So there's a good way there. Oi. Oi. All right. I feel like it's right there. I feel like that's the one. The color contrast, the clarity of where I can go, where I should go, is not super good here. Oh my goodness. I feel like I was there. I was in it. I was in it to win it right there. That's the one. Nope. Bonk. DJ Blonde just having a rough time trying to get down here. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Do this, right? Oh, come on. Bruh. Oh, oh, oof. Oof. Oh, no. Definitely wouldn't say the difficulty level is easy. That's what I'm talking about, right? Like, this isn't, I mean, it can't be that difficult to turn left. You know what I mean? It can't be this tough. It can't be this tough to be able to take a right turn in Albuquerque. Like, I'm just falling in holes. And we want to say this is easy. The player really, again, they should only have an opportunity to die like once or twice on an easy difficulty. I'm at 80 deaths, 80 deaths. And I've played a lot of this game over the years, just running in like pick a hole, fall in it. Every single hole, too difficult. That one, if I stay on the close side, oh wait, no. It's this one, yes. I'm gonna stay on the close side. I'm gonna fall in here like this. Dang it! I gotta stay on the close side again. Maybe that one will work. Maybe that one will work. Okay. Nope. I touched nothing and died. It's pretty chill, Having a good time there. Oh my goodness. The walls. The walls! Out of here. Oi. Okay. Very. Gotta stay. Oh my goodness. Stay hyper vigilant, chat. You can only get in the very interior of those turns. Oh, come on, dude. Come on, dude. You got this. I wonder. I wonder. I'm gonna press I. I'm gonna press I. What do we got here? This is a heroic chest plate. What is the stats? No stats on those items. Oh no, there's no stats in the level. Oh, the devs. The devs right now. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna put it on for fun. Put it on for the heck of it. Just for the gigs. That's what she said. TWSS. Little Hill. Speaking my language. Been watching The Office a lot recently. Just like not like a marathon, but like, like nightly when there's not some programmatic TV on. Watch a little bit of The Office. And it's good stuff. Still committing to greatness on that show for sure. Except now I'm in like the last freaking season of it. Oh my goodness. How do I get on the inside of that post without clapping the post? Crazy. Oh, get out of here, dude. I was no. Yeah, no. Nah, dude. No way. Not Mike. Nope. See, maybe it's, you know what? Maybe that would make it easier if like not every single tile of the level was like a kill shot. Like, it's fine. It's fine. But, I get it if it's the floor. But I think if the walls and the posts weren't kill shots, that would feel better. I could at least like grind the wall to get, oh my goodness, to get to the end of this experience a little bit easier. Oh, come on. Basically, I have to push beyond what you know is possible, knowing that all the walls are damaging. You have to be like, yeah, the wall's going to hurt, but I'm going to ride that wall forever, All right. Oh, come on, bro. You got this. You could do it. All right. What was that? Sandbox, this looks like you're recycling DJ Blondish, just like we should plastic. Give plastic one more life. That's right. Recycle. Back through over and over. At whatever. 180 beats per minute. DJ Blondish. 180 deaths per minute here. Oh no, I can still go. I can still go right. Oh my goodness! It's a color quality issue, right? It's a now we're getting into Dark Souls for muscle memory. That's all this is. That's all it can be. It's Elden Ring. Here we come, right here. These skills are transferable. This repetition is like the only way to win, I think. No, bonk. Okay, all right. Oh, come on, Joe. Joe, you can do better than that. WASD is life. Okay. Oh, come on, bro. Easy. You know what I mean? Easy difficulty, chat. Easy difficulty. Simplest game you've ever played in your life. Why? Why can't I keep going right? Oh my goodness. Yes. Just learning. What? No. That's why. That's why I can't keep going right. Because there's a freaking wall in the way, dude. There's a wall right there. Bonk. Here we go. I'll get this. I'll get this. And then we could talk about easy floor number 4. You know, easy. Super easy. Deep breath, solo. You got this. I got this, right? It's the easiest game I've ever played in my life. Easy difficulty. It's easy right now. Got a plastic bottle. I guess I'm one step closer to 100 of those. Oh my gosh, I only have 12. That's what the biohazard symbol means. That's how many plastic bottles I picked up. Nice. Bonk. What's going on? And when I wake in the morning, I step outside at night. Yeah. Oh my God, did I try? Why? Why? Sorry. Just gotta let it out sometimes, you know? The release. Just what's up, life made me? I gotta say, okay, all right. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Look, listen. No, no, sir. No, sir, and or madam. No, thank you. No, thank you. That okay. So hopefully we see a couple of things. So I'm gonna talk about what could have improved again briefly as we start a wrap on that particular experience, and hopefully we'll be able to move into the next one. Again, I recognize the user who submitted the game for testing in there. Sir Lonk, I believe you submitted Doors of Identity or the Doors of Identity, but it is not listed in the Game Maker gallery right now. I'm in the newest version of the gallery, so you want to publish that so that I can test it if it hasn't already been done. But let's have a look at some of these and see if I can find them. Some friendship game jams. It's crazy. I guess it's a little assorted here. A little assorted. Indeed created. Let's do that. See what happens there. Maybe that's the way that it was. I don't know. All right. I'm going to type Doors again. We'll see if it got published since then. But anyway, and it doesn't look like it has. The experience that we just played through, it is a microcosm of, game design in that the terraforming. Terraforming is a term that we use for when you use the large blocks, the assets in the Game Maker that are defined as blocks. You're looking for the rudimentary shape of your land. What's good about the last experience is while it was, we're falling, excuse me, and those are meant to be puzzles. The good news is there were lots of different avenues of approach that a person could take. It wasn't like one hole is the only way and there's only one good way to go. Presumably, I could have beat that going multiple different directions. Downside to that, obviously, the difficulty curve, not like super great. So the terraforming, your world design, because the blocks themselves were what could kill the player whenever they touched any given block, your terraforming needed to improve in order to make that level make sense if we're only going to use blocks. Alternatively, you've got assets that really we didn't see too many designed assets there. You had the skip this level post. Sorry, I'm trying to sit up more upright so that I don't yawn on you guys. The skip this level post was a custom designed asset. That may be something that you borrowed. It may be something that you created. But that was really the only asset that was there. Once we got beyond that first narrative beat, I would have liked to see that you incorporate the developer guy more physically in there between the levels, between those layers. It ends up being one or two more logic points that you need to add in, but if you could have an interaction with him on the one spot after completing the level, instead of teleporting straight to level number 2 or straight to level number 3, you teleport back into the VR section every single time and you have a conversation. What progress did you make in your research or in your world or in your ecology? Or, as I recall, like the main beat on that was like, you're going to grow as a person. As a result, you're going to become more in tune with the vibrations of the world as a result of that gameplay. So show me how that happens narratively. And that's going to add another layer of nuance to it. We can also make that game more interactive in that you could have a timer start when you go into, excuse me, when you jump off of a platform. If you make it so that the first layer isn't like something where we see, if you don't make it so that we're standing on a small platform and you jump over the edge of the small platform every time, but instead you make it a flat platform with 4 boxes that you could jump out of, or 5 boxes, or whatever, right? If you make that flat platform where I could jump out of multiple boxes, then you could set a cool timer mechanic as well in the game. And this would give players more replayability. A timer mechanic would eliminate the need for some of those difficulty curves, potentially. If normal is actually harder than easy, that's crazy. But if it is, the timer separates the boys from the men. The girls from the women out here. We are separating ourselves from the competition with individual timers that you can incorporate in every single level. Easy one. Could have, as soon as we jump through that first set of holes, the proximity-based trigger for a timer starts. And then when you land in the water, that timer finishes. Now that timer is finished, you pop out back into the VR, like the headset off, talking to developer guy, and they say, wow, your vibrations are super in sync. You got a really fast time of logic, timestamp insert, right? Players who are super excited about your level may screenshot their times that are in there to record them from one session to the other. Want to go into level 2? Yes. Level 2 is going to give you this, resync your vibrations on a cellular level. Like, oh, your left arm's really vibing. right now? How about your right arm? What can we do with that? You know what I mean? There's little narrative pieces that we could have added to this. You can add that timer that happens on every single level. Then you can get your players a bit of very small senses of accomplishment. I'll give you an example of why this makes sense for replayability, because that's what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about this. The narrative design has gotten a little more complete here. We know about the terraforming and the gameplay and how we want to do this, but your time-based play shows how people really skimmed the inside edge of every possible like curve, corner, block alignment that they could have to get those milliseconds shaved off. And this can become super addicting for a person like myself. Excuse me. I played before Gran Turismo 5 was released. I played the heck out of something called Gran Turismo Prologue. I think it's on PS3. It's been a long time. And Gran Turismo Prologue had, on any given racetrack, also recorded the best times for any given car you could use on that racetrack. And so I would take those times, in particular, not really a time thing. I did a drift trial. I was really excited about the drift trial. It's a similar vibe, right? We want to skim the times. So we'll talk about it in that same respect. And in this racing trial with this one particular car, after 4 or 5 weeks of trying, I was on Nürburgring, the #1 in the world, with a Lancer Mitsubishi car. Yeah. That high score mattered to me personally and kept me replaying. And it kept me in a community with the other people who would also use the Lancer on Nürburgring to try to get the best drift trial, And you can create that community with simple mechanic of a timer on each individual layer, on each individual level. Somebody may be really good at easy 1 and terrible at easy 2, and easy 2 player is super excited because they're great at easy 2 and they just want to beat the person who's really good at easy 3, So you can build that nuance. You can build those layers, keeping that narrative strong and having a good time. Sir Lank, I see that you're back here in the chat. It's been a couple of minutes. And I would really, really, really like to play your Doors experience here, but I'm not seeing it published. So if you would, I'm sort of running up near the end of my time here for the show, but if you would, publish that experience. And please send me a message, tag me, or let somebody know inside the Sandbox game that you have it published. And I will play that game for you privately to give you the feedback on it, because I see that you're here on the forum and you were the first person on the forum, so you must have submitted very early. But I didn't get a chance to be able to go through and play that with you. And your feedback request was, what is my experience as a whole in playing your game? So I want to be able to give you that feedback and help you learn the Game Maker tool and how to make games in that Game Maker tool. The things that I want to be able to teach you are fundamentals that you can take and use, not just in the Game Maker, but fundamental skills that you would use in any game development engine to help make you a better dev. We want things to be accessible, but have a nice difficulty curve. We want things to narratively make sense, be cohesive and engaging. We want things to be replayable. We want things to be addicting when people come in and play your games, so that they want to come back over and over and over to play through them. See, Web3 over on youtube.com is asking, is Alex here today? And what day is it today? It's Friday, right? Friday, chat? Let me check. Yeah, Friday, March 14th. So Alex will be returning tomorrow in about, let's see, I think it's like 21 hours from now. Something like that. Real time, if you're watching live. If you're watching later on VOD, they start up at 6 p.m. UTC every Saturday and Wednesday with Alex Camisaze Flores and Lucas. Lucas is right. Just going by his full username on the regular. Any tips? So Web3 is saying, hey Joseph, I'm having problems publishing a 1x2 and a 1x3. I have the land, but it says it's too small. Web3. It could be. This might seem weird. But when you go to let's build. Let's see if I can. Okay, I'll start from scratch. At an experience size, you'll notice in experience size, it says 1 by whatever. Okay. This actually matters in the layout of your lands. So if you're on the map and you say you're having problems publishing a 1x2 and a 1x3, the 1 is this way and the 2 and the 3 are this way. So you'd have to have a block here, and a block here of land to fit a 1x3. If you did a 3x1, then your land is aligned this way, right? So hopefully that's helpful. Because if I do a 3x1, then that assumes I probably have an estate that's a 3x3, but it also, look at where your other experiences are published on that estate, because it may not fit because of where some other experiences are published on the estate. Hopefully that's the problem for you. It could also be, and this is a weird one, but it could also be that if you're like us at the council, you could see I've got it at the very top of this. We have different developers. We have different different allocations of where our lands are on different accounts for different purposes. So we have an account that has lands that's just so that we can just test. So, so that you guys don't know when we're about to publish a new one, because we need to make sure this is bug free first. So it could be that you're on a developer account that isn't your lands account. Maybe that's it. Otherwise, Alex is definitely going to be a better check for this, because Alex has certain very special privileges that he can look through your account and see if maybe, like, I don't know, maybe there's a mistake where you got like a publishing restriction because there was a curse word, or probably not, but it's always worth having a look at that sort of thing as well. There's all sorts of stuff, and 99% of the time this stuff gets sorted out pretty quickly, but I don't particularly have those moderation tools in my accounts to pull it up like right now this second. But yeah, again, Alex will be here in just a couple, it's about a day away, but nonetheless, that's sort of the best recommendations that I can make. You did go on to Sandbox.game. I'm going to look for this clarity here. You did go on to Sandbox.game with your experience already published, right? In your gotta scroll. I zoomed way in to show you guys that thing. Let me go to my create tab, or maybe it's in my experiences tab. Nope, that's everybody's experience. My personal account and experiences. Okay, so when you clicked on your profile at the top and you scrolled down to workspace and you clicked on experiences, you have an experience that already exists in there. It's in your drafts, right? Your 1x3 is in your drafts. And when you select, I'm just opening one so that I can sort of run through the exact same process. When you select on your experience, it says 1x2, and in the top right it says experience not launched, right? You've got the 4 check boxes. You've got the experience page on the left. Mine says ready. I can hit manage on experience page. I can define what my title is. I can add images to my carousel. I can add the name. I can do all of those things. Yes, okay. And then you've got your map location. Your map location. Mine currently on this experience that I haven't published yet, it says map location not ready for launch. I hit manage, and I've got a couple different spaces. Personally, on this account, I have one 3x3 size space. I've got one 1x1 land and another 1x1 land. One of them says committed, one of them says occupied. If it says committed or it says occupied, those things are busy with other experiences. The committed one, we haven't got to publish yet, but it was pending there. The if you click on an estate in the top right, it's going to say choose, right? And choose, we select exactly which tiles we're going to publish this experience on if it has multiple squares available. So that maybe that's what's going on. The asset review section. The asset review section is yet another one that might be holding you up. If you didn't see this, when you click on asset review, it'll say of the assets that you have in the experience, you've got a certain number of assets that are unavailable potentially, or you have assets that you have used in there that you don't own as NFTs. They might be bookmarking. Okay, it says it just will not let me choose a location because it says it's too small. Yeah, and again, to be clear, when you look at that page, let me pull it up over here. So when I look at map location and I hit manage and I click on this and I choose, you are seeing this grid, right? Right here, because this is where we make the selections. And if it says that it does not fit on a 1x2, but you have a 3x3 to work with, then that would be the issue. If you have a thing that just says land on a 1x1 size, then that's probably why it doesn't fit. So you say no, you don't get a grid because it doesn't say 3x3 size. They only say 1x1 size. Is that what's going on? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you have some adjacency, but they're not in an estate format. That could be what it is. And if that is the case, I'm not certain if this is a feature that's upcoming. To be clear, I'm not in these kind of conversations, but it may be that you need to sort of estateify those adjacent 1x1s, if that's necessary. Yes. Okay. Yes. It says 1x1s. Yeah. So that's all it is that it says 1x1s. But again, this is definitely a question for Alex, so that one way or the other, Alex may be able to forward it to the folks in the dashboard team. Dashboard meaning the main website here. And those people could work on allowing you to estateify. But if I was to guess, they're already working on that process, because that's been in discussion for a long time. It was included as part of the white paper. How do I estate them? That's what I'm saying is the question for Alex. Only because, again, quite frankly, as we already own a 3x3, I haven't had to think about that personally. And Alex is in those types of meetings regularly. So that's something to check with him. I focus on the quality assurance testing side of the council. Alex is both the council employee and the Sandbox official employee. Same with Panda. So they're great for asking those types of questions for. Forgive me for not having that answer right away, but at least we understand why that's happening, why you can't currently publish. But yeah, I would like to know that answer as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the chat with Alex. Okay. Yeah, I'm leaving a note for him right now, and then I'm gonna wrap up the show for you guys here. So I'm writing in, hey Alex, how do we turn adjacent 1x1 lands into an estate format so we can publish a 1x2 experience onto those. Asking for username Web3 on YouTube. There we go. Okay, so I've put it in the ether. If you come back tomorrow, they should know that that question is coming. And maybe they'll have an answer for you before then. But this is going to wrap it for me for today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hopefully, we've given you some helpful tips and tricks for how to better develop games inside of a game jam experience or otherwise. If you have any more requests for game jam playtests, feel free to leave those in the emails as they come in from the official Sandbox game with regards to these game jams, because we can keep doing these good morning, afternoon, evening game tests right here live with you and help you create better games anytime. As long as, as long as the powers that be see that we have a demand for it. So it's been a great time with you. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you for the thanks in the chat from all the different platforms. And yeah, Web3. Hopefully we get that answer for you very soon.